Those of us devoted to the promotion and diffusion of psychological science realize that our field benefits from diverse perspectives.
As we work to dismantle decades of exclusion of minoritized people from academia, we will encounter more opportunities for cross-race mentorship.
Quality mentorship is crucial to enhancing the quality, range, and rigor of the diverse viewpoints included in our field. However, careless mentorship can harm students.
Scholars shared stories with us of times their faculty advisors or professors singled them out or made assumptions about them because of their background.
Early in my graduate school career, I had a female professor tell me that I was smarter than I looked, as if that was a compliment. As a Latina, I've struggled to be heard in classes or viewed as an equal member of the department. When she implied that she hadn't expected me to be smart, I began to fixate on this idea that people would just see me as an other in this setting.
We often think that we can intuit what other people want by thinking about what we would want if we were in their position. But what we think of as intuition is based on our own personal experiences. We may not have the experience, cultural frameworks, or sufficient understanding to accurately assess their wants or needs.
My first day at grad student orientation, a white professor publicly told me I should look for a hairstylist in other cities because there would be no one to do my hair in town. I felt embarrassed and singled out. Besides, her advice was unsolicited. I hadn't mentioned my hair at all.
The advice given to our mentees sometimes might be driven by assumptions. And the things that we think are important to their experiences may actually not be important to them at all. And even though our intentions might be coming seemingly from a good place, our execution might erode trust, perpetuate racism, and cause real damages to our mentees' sense of belonging and safety.
Acknowledging the differences in our perspectives may help us understand why many students and junior faculty from minoritized backgrounds remember unhelpful advice and even hurtful and harmful advice as a common theme amongst their experiences.
As we prepared for conferences, I was told, be sure to wear your hair in a professional style. I was wearing Bantu knots.
Watch out for the desire to make othering comments and question yourself. Resist commenting on practices, bodies, and objects that you're unfamiliar with. Instead, request permission to ask questions and do so with cultural humility, or awareness that your own culture is only a standpoint, not the standard.
As well, respect their right to deny your request, again, with humility. Get to know someone and their normal way of being, and avoid the implication that someone should change what's normal to them to make you as a mentor feel more comfortable.
Mentors often feel responsible for shaping their mentees' professionalism and appearance. The desire to shape a mentee's professional appearance to conform to mentor's value orientation causes conflict in cross-racial, ethnic, and cultural mentorships.
Additionally, if our colleagues are put off by our students' cultural expressions, consider using this as a teachable moment where we can advocate for expanding our collective vision and definition for what it means to be professional.
I had a white mentor once try to reassure me that I didn't need to worry about bias because in their letter of recommendation for me, they had noted that I spoke English well and that I didn't have an accent. I really wish they hadn't made this comment, or that we could have had a meaningful conversation about bias in our field.
In some cases, faculty members are trying to be helpful. They use their own expectations for framing how a racist reception should be received for a student. But by doing so, they often don't directly end up accounting for the bias that's actually occurring, and they might not empower that student to challenge that instance of bias themselves. And at times, that same faculty member may end up suggesting that the student is in the wrong.
So then we must listen. We need to create opportunities for our mentees to tell us what they need, which means that they need to trust us enough to share their needs with us. That means that we need to be deliberate and mindful about creating these opportunities for sharing.
We should also be discerning when communicating about sensitive topics in open forums, so we do not make people from other ethnic, racial, and cultural backgrounds feel spotlighted or slighted for their difference.
Ask yourself, what can you do to support your students? What kinds of resources can you direct them to? What kinds of resources and networks can you offer? How can you advocate for their safety? Consider ways of co-constructing solutions and seeking opportunities to learn, grow with, and support your students.
And then we should make good faith efforts to act upon students' needs, provide support, and validate their trust in us. There are positive examples of mentorship.
After George Floyd's murder, our mentor called us all together to discuss what our response could be. She didn't single anyone out, but expected that we would all care and take action together.
A mentor asked me to co-teach a class with her. I wasn't sure if I felt ready, but she encouraged me.
My computer bag broke after a year of hard use, and the strap gave out. My mentor noticed, and a week later, she gave me a new laptop bag.
A mentor invited me to give a guest lecture in their class, and I've never felt taller.
Faculty supported us in creating a campus affinity group for other grad students, faculty, and staff from the same background.